families, and APS students. Welcome to At Home with APS. We are so happy you've joined us this week, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
Hi, first grade. Today we will be doing two things. First, we will be breaking apart multisyllabic words. Then we are going to break words into the phonemes or the sounds and count how many sounds there are in that word. Okay, so first we're going to break words into syllables. An example is potato. You say the word potato, then break it into the parts or syllables. Okay, here we go. Potato, potato, potato. All right, ready to get started? The first one is photograph, photograph, photograph. All right, president, 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 everyone, everyone, ev-er-e-one, dinner time, dinner time, dinner time, responsible, responsible, responsible. The last one, somebody, 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 somebody. All right, now I'm going to say a word. You're going to repeat the word, and then you're going to break it into sounds or phonemes. All right, and then we're going to count how many phonemes were in that word. All right, here's our example. Baby, baby, b-a-b-e. 4 sounds, okay? Here's our first one. Yell, yell, y-e-l, yell. So that had 3 sounds. The next one, yum, yum, y-a-m, 3 sounds. Yellow, yellow, y-e-l-o, 4 sounds. Why, why, w-I, 2 sounds. July, July, j-u-l-I, 4 sounds. Spy, spy, s-p-I, 3 sounds. The next one, puppy, puppy, p-a-p-e, 4 sounds. And then the last one, candy, candy, k-a-n-d-e, 5 sounds. Way to go, first graders.
Today we're going to learn a new nursery rhyme called Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty is an egg. One day the egg, Humpty Dumpty, sat on a wall. Here's Humpty Dumpty. And then he had a great fall. He fell down from the wall. And he was broken. Next, a king tried to help Humpty Dumpty. A king is like a president. They help people and make rules. They're kind of the boss or in charge. So one day, a king tried to help broken Humpty Dumpty. The king sent horses and men to try to fix Humpty, but they couldn't help Humpty, and Humpty stayed broken. Let's read the poem about Humpty Dumpty together. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. There he is. The next thing that happens is Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Next, the king's horses and the king's men tried to put Humpty back together again, but they couldn't. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Let's say this nursery rhyme one more time together and read it all the way through to make it sound smooth. This time, I'm not going to point to every word. I'll just point to the side of each line. But you try to read along with your eyes and follow the words so they match. Ready? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Rhyming words are words that sound the same at the end. In our nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty, I found some rhyming words. Let's look and find them together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Did you hear rhyming words? I'll give you a clue. There's a word that rhymes with wall. Listen again. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. You're right. Wall and fall rhyme. They both sound the same at the end. Wall, fall. You say it. Wall, fall. Let's look more closely at these two words. Here's the word wall. To make fall, all I need to do is change the first letter. So I'm going to take away the wall, the W, and I need to put a different letter. I need to put an F at the beginning to make fall. All. Fall. We change wall to fall by changing the first letter. Let's see if we can make some more words that rhyme with wall and fall. What if we put a B at the beginning of this part? What would we make? All. Ball. Wall, fall, ball. Those words rhyme. I'm going to take off the first letter and see if I can make any more words. What about if I put an H? All. Hall. Like I walk down the hall at school. Hall. Boys and girls, we've been putting different letters at the beginning of this part right here. If you didn't notice, this is an important part in words that you might see when you're reading. This is the part that's called all. All can be a part in a word, and it's also a word. In our rhyme right here, all the king's horses And all the king's men, we use this word all. Let's continue making more words with all. What if we put an M at the beginning of all? All. Let's say it faster. Mall. Mall. I go shopping at the mall. We can also make call, like I call my friend on the phone. What word did I make now if I put an F at the beginning of all? You're right, I made fall. Fall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. The last word we're going to make today is the word tall. Tall. Just by knowing the word wall, we made a lot more words. Thanks for helping me. Now let's read all the words that we made with the magnetic letters on this list. First, we started with wall, and we noticed that there was a word or a part inside wall that says all. That word all is also in our rhyme right here. All the king's horses and all the king's men. Let's read the other words we made. We made ball, haul, mall, call, fall, tall. And then you might be thinking that there's another word you know that rhymes with these words, and that's the word doll, like a baby doll. But I had to put doll in a box down here because it's actually an oddball word. It sounds like wall, doll, but it's spelled differently. There's an O in the middle of doll. And in wall, you know there's an A there that we were looking at. So this is an oddball, the word doll. Now it's your turn to read the list of words that we can make when we know wall. Ready? You read. Ball, haul, mall, call. Keep reading. Fall, tall, and the oddball, doll. Great job. Today, when I was reading Humpty Dumpty, I saw some words I know by heart. That means words that I know really well. I can read them and I can write them. Sometimes teachers call those words snap words. Let's see if we can find some. Here's a word I know by heart. Do you know it too? It's the word the. Let's write it. The. T-H-E. T-H-E. Out, up, and around. The. I know the word on by heart. On. I used to get the words on and no mixed up, but now I know that on starts with an O. On. On. The word no looks like this. Instead of ending with an N, it starts with an N. O. No. No is not in our nursery rhyme today, so I'm going to cross it off. But I'll keep on because it's right up here. The on, had. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Had has 3 sounds. Had. Had. I see a word I know by heart way down at the bottom. Put. This is the word put. Remember, they couldn't put Humpty together again. Put. 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 Now there's a word way up at the top that I don't know by heart, but there is a word or a part inside the word that I do know by heart. Let me show you. Inside this word, I know the word at. At. Do you see it? It looks like this. At. I know the word at by heart, but this word has a letter before at. It's the letter S. I know that S makes the S sound. Let's see if I can put it together. S, at, s, at, sat, sat. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Sometimes you'll see words you know inside bigger words, and that can help you to know more words. Before we finish, let's read all of our words that we know by heart. The, on, had, put, sat. Oh my goodness, when we were just reading the list, I noticed something. Put and sat both have the same ending sound. Listen again. Put, sat. Both words end with the letter T and make the T sound at the end. Great job. When we were reading Humpty Dumpty, I found one big long word I wanted to show you. It's the word together. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. I wrote the word together on a card so we could see it better. Here's the word together. Now in the beginning of this word, I see a word I know by heart. It's a snap word, the word to. I'm going to put a line under to. To. Now let's break the rest of this word apart into syllables so we can know the other parts. You ready? Together. To. Geth. Let's do it again. To. Geth. Together. Together has 3 syllables. Here's to. That's the first syllable. Then there's geth. And the last syllable is E-R, make at the end of this word. Together. I know this part at the end because my dog Walter, who's squeaking his toy right now, has the same part in his name. My dog's name is Walter. Listen. Together, Walter. Let me show you Walter's name. Here's Walter. Walter. And here's that same part, at the end of his name. You say Walter. Now say together. Readers, when you're reading things and you see a big, long word, try to break up the word into syllables or look for parts inside the word you know to help you read. Today we learned a new nursery rhyme called Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and then he had a great fall, and he was broken. This nursery rhyme made me think about a time when I broke something. One day, I dropped my cell phone down the stairs, and the screen cracked. It cracked just like Humpty Dumpty. Have you ever had a time in your life when you broke something and it couldn't be fixed?
Hi, APS students and families. My name is Lauren Mosley, and I'm a reading specialist at Dr. Charles R. Drew Elementary School. And today we're going to be reading the book Tag Along Goat. While we're reading today, we're going to think about how we can retell the important parts of a story that we're reading. In order to do that, it's really important for good readers to think about the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end. To help us think about this, I've placed a couple of stars in the book to help us know when we should be thinking and retelling what has happened in the story already. In the book Tag Along Goat, Bonk and his monster friends go to the petting zoo to feed the animals. Everything seems to be going really great and they're having a lot of fun until one of the goats follows them home. Now they have to figure out how they can get the goat back to the zoo. Let's start reading. Tag Along Goat. Tag Along Goat. Written by Maribeth Boltz, illustrated by Nora Vautis. Let's go to the petting zoo, says Bonk. First, let's stop to get food for the animals, says Lurk. I'm so glad they let us feed the animals, says Uzzle. I'll get carrots for the donkey, says Lurk. I'll get chicken feed, says Uzzle. I'll get corn for the goats, says Bonk. At the zoo, Bonk puts the corn in his pocket. His pocket has a small hole. I notice one of the stars that I was telling you about in the beginning. Here we're going to stop and think, what's happened so far in the story? Take the time and retell what's happened so far to someone in your home. You might have said something like, Bonk and his friends decide to go to the petting zoo. They stop at the store to buy food for the animals. Bonk has a hole in his pocket where he put the corn, but he doesn't notice. The monsters play with the animals. They feed them too. Bonk forgets about the corn. On the way home, the corn drops out on the trail. One of the goats at the zoo escapes. He follows Bonk's trail of corn. The monsters do not notice. At home, they notice. Bah, says the goat. How do we get him back to the zoo? Says Bonk. Bonk and the monsters gently push the goat. They gently pull the goat. The goat doesn't move. Mr. Goat, says Lurk, you need to go back to the zoo. The goat doesn't move. Here's another star. Let's think about what's happened in the middle of the story. Retell what's happened in the middle of the story to someone in your home. You might have said something like, Bonk and his friends have fun at the zoo. They go home on the way, and on the way, Bonk's corn falls out. A goat follows the corn all the way to Bonk's house, and they don't know how they will get him back to the zoo. I know what will work, says Bonk. Bonk sprinkles a trail of corn on the ground. The goat moves as he eats it. Bonk keeps sprinkling corn. Munch, munch, says the goat. Finally, the goat is back at the zoo. Bonk's pockets are empty. Bah, says the goat. You're welcome, says Bonk. We've reached the end of the story. Take a moment and think about what happened at the end. How did Bonk solve the problem? You might have said something like, Bonk uses the corn to get the goat back to the zoo. You've done a great job listening and retelling the story while thinking about the beginning, middle, and the end. Now try your best to retell the entire story to someone in your home. After you retell, you can draw a picture of your favorite part. Thank you so much for reading Tag Along Goat with me today.
Hi there. I'm Mary Joy Cordero, a Young Scholars Instructional Coach at Carlin Springs Elementary School. Thank you for joining us for this episode of At Home with APS. I love teaching kids critical and creative thinking skills, and today I'm going to share one strategy that you can use. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the thinking fun. I have lots of powers. One of my favorite powers is thinking power. Do you like thinking power? I hope so. Today I'm going to share an activity that will build your thinking power. Are you ready? Let's go, super thinkers! Today we will be using the story Tag Along Goat to exercise our thinking power and make our brains even stronger. We will work through 3 levels of challenge. Our thinking power challenge for today is Level 1, Story Order. Level 2, Cause and Effect. And finally, Level 3, Consequences. Let's start with Level 1, Story Order. Story order is the order that a story goes in, starting with first, next, then, and finally. Let's look at these 4 pages from our text, and we will decide how to put them in story order. One of the goats at the zoo escapes. He follows Bonk's trail of corn. The monsters do not notice. Let's go to the petting zoo, says Bonk. First, let's stop to get food for the animals, says Lurk. Bonk keeps sprinkling corn. Munch, munch, says the goat. Finally, the goat is back at the zoo. Mr. Goat, says Lurk, you need to go back to the zoo. The goat doesn't move. This story is not in story order yet. How could I put it in story order? Which page should go first? Did you pick this one? Let's go to the petting zoo? I did too. This is where the monsters are getting ready to go to the petting zoo. Let's put this one first. What comes next in our story? First, they get ready to go to the petting zoo. What happens next? Did you pick this one? One of the goats at the zoo escapes? Me too. This one happened next. Let's put it next. So first, the monsters get ready to go to the petting zoo. Then, a goat escapes from the zoo. Then what happens? Did you pick this one too? Yeah. The goat doesn't move. Let's put this one then. Then finally, the goat goes back to the petting zoo. Let's retell this story in story order. I'll help you out. First, the monsters go to the petting zoo. Next, one of the goats at the zoo escapes. Then the goat will not go back to the zoo. Finally, Boink gets the goat to go back to the zoo. Yay! You told the story in story order. You have now completed level 1. Good for you. Level 2 is next, cause and effect. For level 2, we are going to think about cause and effect. The cause is why something happened in the story. The effect is what happened in the story. Let's look at the pictures and read the text. I know what will work, says Bonk. Bonk sprinkles a trail of corn on the ground. The goat moves as he eats it. What causes the goat to move? Because Bonk sprinkles the corn on the ground, the goat moves. The cause is the goat's corn sprinkled on the ground. The effect is the goat moves. The goat moves because Bonk sprinkles the corn on the ground. Now your turn. Let's read these 2 pages from the text. At the zoo, Bonk puts the corn in his pocket. His pocket has a small hole. On the way home, the corn drops out on the trail. Something is happening. Why is it happening? The corn is dropping out on the trail. It is happening because Bonk has a hole in his pocket. The corn is dropping on the trail because Bonk has a hole in his pocket. Bonk has a hole in his pocket. That is the cause of the corn dropping on the trail. That is the effect. Were you able to figure that out? I hope so. Good for you. You have now completed level 2. Level 3, consequences. For level 3, we are going to think about the consequences of a possible future action. A consequence is something that could happen in the story because of an action in the story. The author gives clues to what might happen later in the story. Let's look at this page. "I'll get corn for the goats," says Bonk. On this page, the author is giving us a clue about what might happen in the rest of the story. What is the clue? Did you say Bonk is buying corn for the goat? The author is letting us know that Bonk, corn, and the goat are important parts of this story. Bonk is buying corn for the goat. The author is giving us a clue that Bonk, the corn, and the goat are important to something that is going to happen in the story. Do you agree? Now let's you find the consequence. Remember, a consequence is something that could happen in the story because of an action in the story. Let's look at the last page of our story. Bonk's pockets are empty. "Bah," says the goat. "You're welcome," says Bonk. If you were the author of this story and you were going to add one more page, what would you add? What do you think might happen next? Does the author give you any clues about what might happen next? Maybe Bonk might go home and fix the hole in his pocket so that nothing will fall out again. Maybe your next page would be, "The zookeeper might make sure the corn is kept in the cup so that the goat will not leave the farm to follow a trail of corn." The zookeeper might repair the rope that keeps the goat on the farm so that he can't escape again. Maybe you thought of something different. As long as your next page matches an action that already happened in the story, it can be a consequence. There can be lots of answers to this question. You have completed level 3. Good for you. Way to go, super thinkers. You have met the challenge for today. Remember, super thinkers keep thinking all the time. They level up every time they read. You can keep reading with your family at home. You can start with level 1 and do a story order. Ask your parents, what comes first? Next, then, and finally in a story. See if they get it right. Then go to level 2, cause and effect. Work with your parents to figure out what happens in the story and why it happens in a story. And finally, level 3, consequences. What are the consequences for things that happen in the story? What clues does the author give us that help us predict what might happen in the story or might happen after the story is done? If you got to add a page to the story, what would you add? Or maybe you would even put a page before the story starts. What happened before the story even started? I hope you enjoyed our episode of At Home with APS today. And remember to keep critical and creative thinking in every story you read. Thanks for watching, and stay well.
Today we're going to play I Spy using the word wall. The words on my word wall are from the high-frequency word bingo boards in your continuous learning packet. In this game of I Spy, I will think of a word on my word wall. I will give you a clue about the word, followed by a moment to think and make a guess. Then I'll give another clue. Your guess may stay the same, or you might have to change your guess. After I've given all the clues, I will reveal the word. Let's do the first one together. I spy with my little eye a word that starts the same as milk. Milk starts with the sound. That's made by the letter M. I wonder if the word is maybe. Next clue. It has a silent E. Maybe has an E on the end, but it's not silent. It can't be maybe. Maybe the word is make. Next clue. It rhymes with the word cake. Make rhymes with cake. The word must be make. What word is it? I think it's the word make. The word is make. I spy with my little eye a word that starts the same as the word sun. It has a vowel team. This word is similar to the word ocean. What word is it? The word is sea. I spy with my little eye a word that has a digraph at the beginning. Remember, a digraph is two letters that go together to make a new sound. It starts the same as thumb. It has two tall letters and two small letters. It has another word in it. What word is it? The word is this. I spy with my little eye a word that starts the same as the word donut. It is a contraction. It has an apostrophe. It means the same thing as did not. What word is it? The word is didn't. I spy with my little eye a word that starts the same as window. It has four letters. It ends with a digraph, two letters that go together to make a new sound. What word is it? It's the word with. I spy with my little eye a word that starts the same as the word banana. It ends with the same sound as the word car. It has four letters. It has a vowel team. Which word is it? The word is bear.
Hi students, I'm excited to read with you today. My name is Carrie Christensen and I'm a first grade teacher at Dr. Charles R. Drew Elementary. The title of this book is I Collect That, written by George Anthony Coles and Elizabeth Jane Postelnick. This is a nonfiction book and will give us information about a topic. In this book, we will learn that people collect different things. A collection is a group of items that are alike or similar to each other. You might have a collection of stuffed animals or toy cars. While we are reading, I want you to notice the nonfiction text features like table of contents, photographs, captions, and glossary. Let's get started. I collect that. While you are reading, you can think about the focus question, what is a collection? And what kinds of things can be found in a collection? Words to know, alike, based, coins, collection, meet, type. Table of contents. The first chapter is the introduction, which begins on page 4. The second chapter, which is Collecting is Cool, begins on page 6. Common Collections is on page 8. You Collect What is on page 12. Start Your Own Collection on page 14. And the glossary is at the end of the book on page 16. Introduction. Do you own a few stuffed animals? Then you have a collection. A collection is a group of things that are alike. If you look at the photograph, you can see that there are words underneath the photograph that tell about the picture, and that's called a caption. The caption reads, "Can you spot the girl among all the stuffed animals?" People collect things that they like. Some people collect rocks. Other people collect cars. Under the photograph, the caption reads, "It can be fun to count all the items in your collection." Collecting is cool. A collection can be big or small, such as 50 stamps or 10 baseball cards. Some people meet with other people who collect the same things. Under the photograph, the caption reads, "Two boys choose stamps to add to their collection at a big meeting of stamp collectors." A collection can be hard work. Some people like to care for their collection. They keep count of their things. They keep them clean. The caption reads, "You can collect sports cards of today's players or players from long ago." Common collections. Many people like to collect things that are easy to find. People collect coins and dolls. Math Minute. Emma has 34 bookmarks in her collection. She gets 11 more for her birthday. How many bookmarks does she have now? After you've finished reading the story, I would encourage you to come back to this Math Minute to solve the problem. If you look at the photograph, underneath the caption reads, "A boy and a girl look closely at their coin collection." Some people collect things from places they visit. The caption reads, "This girl shows a snow globe with seals that she bought in San Francisco, California." Other people collect things they find outside. There are 2 photographs on this page. The caption for the top photograph reads, "It can be hard work to find a beautiful shell on a beach." The caption for the bottom photograph reads, "This girl and her father gather leaves for her collection." You can also make art out of a collection. Some people throw away bottle caps. Others use them to make art. You collect what? Some people collect things based on type. It can take a long time to build a collection. One woman has more than 18,000 things with owls. She has owl shirts, owl toys, and more. The caption reads, "Pam Barker proudly shows her owl collection." One man has more than 700 locks. Under the photograph, the caption reads, "This man shows one of the locks in his collection. They are between 100 and 600 years old." Wowzer is a fun fact. You can see more than 1,000 toilet seats at the Toilet Seat Art Museum in San Antonio, Texas. These aren't plain white toilet seats. Barney Smith has made each toilet seat into a work of art. Start your own collection. You can start a collection too. Why not start with something easy, like fruit stickers? One woman has more than 10,000. The caption reads, "Fruit stickers come in many different shapes, colors, and sizes." A collection can also be really strange. Some people collect lists that other people have left behind in food stores. What would you like to collect? Under the photograph, the caption reads, "This man has collected over 1,000 spoons from different airlines." The glossary at the end of the book tells what the bolded words mean from the story. Alike, like someone or something else. Based, used as a starting point. Coins, pieces of metal money. Collection, a group of similar items that belong together or that someone chooses to save. Meet, to get together. Type, a group of things that have something in common. At the end of the book, I would like you to try these activities at home with your families. Writing and art. If you could collect anything, what would it be and why? Draw a picture and write about it. And be sure to share it with your family members. Math. Read and solve the math minute in the book. Then write your own math minute for a partner to solve. Thank you for reading together. I hope that you enjoyed this book.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Trainer. I am the resource teacher for the gifted at McKinley Elementary School in Arlington Public Schools. I want to start by saying I hope you and your family are well, and I appreciate you taking the time to check in and watch this video. In this video, we are going to be making connections to the text "I Collect That," which was a nonfiction passage that showcased all the different ways that kids and adults can gather and collect all sorts of different objects. Now, as I read it, I couldn't help but notice that there were a lot of strategies that were in the passage that connected to critical and creative thinking. One of the things that stood out to me was the way in which the passage was set up. It had a lot of information about different types of collections. They showcased collections that you might have in your house, like a car collection or maybe some rocks. And they featured very unusual collections about spoons, for example, or the stickers that come on fruit. And all of that got me thinking about the creativity and the originality that can come along with making a collection. And we're going to use that idea of all the different ways that you can make a collection to go through an activity that connects to a critical and creative thinking skill called fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration. The first critical and creative thinking skill that we're going to use is called fluency. Now, fluency, stated more simply, is the ability to make lists. And when we think about the passage that we read, the authors included a wide list or a wide range of items in their list about collections. And so what we're going to do is think about how we can look at what might be in our own house or maybe what is around our house and think about how that might connect to the idea of a collection. Now, in our house, we have a lot of things, and I asked my son to give me a hand. I said, what might be some things you think you've collected over the years? And he thought about it, and he gave me some ideas. So as you're thinking about what collections you might have, I'm gonna share some, and maybe you'll kind of, just like me, have these collections in your own house. So here's the first thing we have a lot of. We have a lot of sports equipment in our house. When I was younger, I played soccer, and my son plays soccer, and my daughter, who's 2, she kind of does whatever he does, and so she kicks these around all the time. So one of our collections is soccer equipment or athletic equipment. We have like basketballs and footballs, tennis balls, anything that's round, we seem to have that. Another collection, and I'm guessing this might be true for some of you, stuffed animals. My daughter loves Peppa Pig. This is George and his dinosaur. We have all sorts of stuffed animals. In our house, we call them loveys. And I'm wondering, do you have stuffed animals in your house? Do you have maybe characters that are also from a cartoon? Or do you have stuffed animals that were passed down to you from someone else in your family? We have some of those. We have a bear in our house that's almost 35 years old. My aunt gave it to me, and it's called Albert the Running Bear. It's a teddy bear in a little running outfit. Another collection that we got, dinosaurs. We took a lot of trips to the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C. when my son was little, and he was very interested in the dinosaurs. And we couldn't help but notice that they sold some of these in the gift shop on the way out. So little by little, we built up a collection of toy dinosaurs. Now, not all the collections that we have in our house were our own. We inherited from one of my friends who also was a teacher an enormous tub of Lego Duplos. Now, his children, when they were younger, played with them, but they grew up and they got, more interested in maybe smaller Legos or some other engineering toys. And so we were given all of these, and we've played with these for the last 10 years. My son played with them, now my daughter plays with them. And there's one last collection that is very similar to one that I had. And when we think about this list of all the different collections you might have, I'm wondering if some of you also have a collection that you keep. Sorry, I'm putting the dinosaur down and the ball so it doesn't roll away. Something you keep in a binder like this. My son has a collection of trading cards. In here, you can see, these are all soccer trading cards. When I was younger, I collected baseball cards. I know that some of the students at McKinley have Pokemon cards that they share and then they collect. I've seen other sports cards that kids have. But this idea of fluency and making a big long list is something that hopefully you've made some connections to as I've explained it. And maybe you can take a moment or two and add on to the list of things that you might have in your house or things that maybe are around your house that you could collect and form a collection with. Our second skill is called flexibility. And this means that we can think of things in several ways. And the way that we're going to connect it to this idea of a collection is to think about how you might organize your collection. So I'll kind of just go back to a couple of things. I mentioned earlier that we have a lot of sports equipment in our house. Now, some of them are meant for sports like soccer. So maybe we could make a collection of just soccer equipment. Some are equipment that you would use to play outside, not inside. Others might be things that involve sports that have a racket. Like we have some tennis balls and we have lacrosse balls. So something you might need other equipment to play. Now, the one that I want to focus on a little bit is this one that my son has here. Now, my son has a lot of collections, and as I mentioned, this one is full of trading cards. And if you look, I don't know because of the glare if you can see them, but they're not really organized in any particular way. They're just in there. I probably told him, clean up your cards, and he just put them all away. But if he were to make a collection and have it be organized in a certain way, how might he take these cards and make a page where every card on the page has something in common? Because right now they're just all soccer players. So what might that look like? What might they all have in common? Are you thinking they might be on the same team? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's one of the things. Maybe they all play for the same team. What's another way that they might all be connected to each other? Maybe they all play the same position. Maybe he's got a page where all of the cards are just the goalkeepers. Now, he does know that certain cards, when he gets them, he's very excited to get them because some of the players are like the most famous players. And so maybe he could make a page of the most famous players. Now, I'm also wondering, do you have any favorites? Whether they're, in this case, they're soccer players, but if you had trading cards, whether they're Pokemon cards or whether they were trading cards like these with with sports players. Do you have any favorites? Maybe could you make a page with your favorite players? Perhaps. And that's what flexibility involves. So when you think about what are some things I like to collect and how can I make those collections? How can I organize them? What would they all have in common? That's what flexibility is. So give that a try. See if you can think about something you collect and then make a category where they're all alike in that same way. So originality is one of my favorite parts of this skill. Originality is the ability to make something that does not exist. Okay, and I'm gonna just continue talking about this same resource. All of these cards that my son has, I have challenged him to make an original collection. So he's gonna have to use those skills that we just talked about. He's gonna have to think about, all right, how could I organize them? So currently, his cards look like this, right? This is the front page again. When he's done, he'll have made something that does not currently exist. Maybe he takes them out of the cards. Maybe he displays them in a different way. How might you display a collection that you have? What might be some ways? Maybe a binder. What might work? Or where might you make this display? Maybe a desk? Maybe a kitchen table? But what would it look like when you close your eyes and say, what does it look like? Do you imagine it in a shoebox? Maybe that would be a good place to make a collection. Do you think you could put them, maybe you could put them on a little table that you make out of Legos. Maybe that's part of your collection. Maybe you're going to display your Legos on other Legos. This is really a fun thing to think about. Now we're actually talking about two different strategies here. Originality and that ability to close your eyes and think, what is it going to look like when it's done? That's actually called visualizations. We snuck in an extra skill for you there. So take a moment. How do you think you want to make your display? What might it look like? Create something that's totally new. Take a moment and think about that. I just had an idea. I think I know how I would want to display, and I'll show you. Sports equipment. This is a different soccer ball. Now the reason why I have this one is because this was like my favorite soccer ball when I was younger. And so now I have my soccer balls. And then my son has soccer balls. I think I would make a display of all of the soccer balls that we've used through the years. And I would line them up from biggest to smallest. And they would be like oldest to newest. That's my idea. I'm excited to work on that one. The last skill that we're going to describe here is called elaboration. Now elaboration, in a simple way of thinking about it, is adding lots and lots of details. We use this all the time when we're telling stories, when we're explaining our thinking, and will be no different when we make our collection into a display. Now the idea that I came up with is based on my own trips to the Natural History Museum and other field trips that I've taken with students over the years to museums. And there's usually somebody there that can explain what is in the collection. We call them docents, and they're experts. They know everything it is about the collection. And if a student ever has a question, they can answer it. Now, this is where it's your turn. You are going to be the docent. You are going to be the expert of your collection. So if it's Legos, if it is stuffed animals, if it's rocks or minerals, if it is anything you have in your house or anything you even find, if someone says, tell me about your collection, you'll be able to do it because you'll be the expert and you'll be able to elaborate and add details. You might say, this is the first soccer ball that I ever had when I was 4 years old on the yellow team. And maybe that was the name of your team. That was the name of my first team. We had yellow shirts, so we were the yellow team. You might say, this second ball is from when I was 5. It was a birthday present, and it was from my grandma. Wonderful details. This tells the story of your collection, and I'm super excited. I'm so excited about this soccer ball idea that I kind of have been inspired by as we've spoken together, and I'm really excited to be able to share all of my ideas about my collection, and I hope you are too. As we end the video, we will wrap things up with a family engagement tip. And as I've made this video, I truly could not help but think about how collections have been a part of not just my own life and the life of my son, but the life of my parents and their parents. So I think this is a great thing to focus on that will really get everybody in the family involved. So what are some tips if you are going to pursue this as a family? 1, explore collections that already are in the house, or kind of look at things in the house through the lens of, is this a collection? I went around my house and I found things that were all over the place. My son had Lego cars that he was into for a long, long time. That was a collection. I've got a collection because my parents kept a lot of things that they've shared with me. I have a collection of like every soccer jersey that I've ever worn since I was 7 years old. It's pretty amazing. We have collection of Legos, of building blocks, lots of things that we've kind of taken back out and explored again. The other opportunity is to create new collections, and we've been exploring, the yard and the neighborhood as much as we can on nice days. And my daughter likes to pick up rocks and bring them back. She's building a collection. She doesn't really know it, but that would be another opportunity. What can we go find safely and bring back to the house and maybe start a new collection that way? The next idea is just one that I find myself thinking about, is sharing the collections with my son, right? He's got the soccer cards. I have a set of baseball cards from 1986, and he thinks it's like the most amazing thing. So it really is a great time for us to bond over a shared interest in collecting. The last thing, and I think this has probably been the most enjoyable, is to reach out to other family members and ask them. I've asked not only family members but colleagues, and I found out that we've got collections of postcards and magnets and a collection of pink flamingos even. My family, they collected a lot of baseball memorabilia from, I found out my grandfather worked for a baseball team in the mid-1900s. And so there's all these really great opportunities to sort of, gather around and share ideas without the screen time being a big priority. I think this is the one that my son has enjoyed the most, that is the most low-tech in terms of, having access to the materials around. It doesn't require, a phone or an iPad or Wi-Fi or anything. It's a wonderful opportunity to share things that have mattered to us in terms of memories and stories, and I hope you can find something that connects with you. So I hope this finds you well. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and have a wonderful week.
Hi, my name is Lauren Mosley, and I'm a reading specialist at Dr. Charles R. Drew Elementary School. And I'm so excited because today we're going to be doing some writing. And I know that maybe earlier this week you were able to read the book Tag Along Goat, where Bonk and his friends visit a petting zoo. So when I thought about the petting zoo, this got me thinking about some of the stuffed animals that my kids have in our house. So I thought I'd gather them together and that maybe we could write about one of them. So let me show them to you, and then you guys decide which one we'll write about today. All right, so I have a black and white cow, a little blue bunny, a green frog, a black and white dog, a bear, which you wouldn't see at the petting zoo, but you might see at the regular zoo. I have a stingray, which you could see at the aquarium. I have a giraffe, and I also have a big white bunny right here. All right, so what do you think we should write about today? Come on, shout out, which one? Oh, I hear the giraffe. Oh, I heard you say the frog. Oh, I heard you say the cow. Oh, someone said the stingray. Oh, the white bunny. Oh, but you know what I can hear a lot of, which is surprising, is the dog. I bet a lot of you want to write about the dog because maybe you have a real dog at home, or maybe you have a stuffed dog too. I think this is an excellent choice. Let's get started. So what we're going to do today is first, before we start writing, is we're going to go ahead and get to think about the toy a lot. So I can see this dog. He's black and white. He's got a little nose, and his eyes are actually brown. He's got a tail. And as you can see, his fur is kind of shiny and curly and soft. So I think to get started, the first thing we should do is think of our first sentence, and maybe we should kind of introduce him. So we could say something like, "This is my black and white dog." To help me out, sometimes I like to count the number of words I've said and say the sentence again. This is my black and white dog. So I've got a 7-word sentence. This is pretty good. Now I'm going to point and say it. This is my black and white dog. I think I'm ready to write it. If you remember, when we start a sentence, we have to start with a capital letter. So for this, I'm going to start with a capital T. This is, oh, I bet my is one of your snap words. I bet you know to spell that. M-Y. My. Ooh, black. That's kind of a tricky one. I might have to stop and think and sound that one out. Bull. Ack. Oh, I hear that bull. I know that bull is a blend. It's kind of B and an L together. Let me write that. This is my black and white. W. Oh, I know there's 2 sounds that make the W sound. One is W, says W, but there's another one. Do you know it? Oh, W-H. Thanks. W. Ite. I wrote everything I heard, but this still doesn't look right. W-ite. Oh, I need an E. The E makes the I say the long sound. White, and then I need the word dog. D-og. Let's reread. This is my black and white dog. Good work. All right, for another sentence, maybe we could say what his name is. And I told you my son decided to name him Pup. So I think we'll go with that. But I do remember that when you're saying the name of something or writing it, that means that this thing is important. So it has to start with a capital letter too whenever you write anyone's name. So Pup is going to start with a capital P when I write it. So my sentence is, his name is Pup. 4 words. Say it with me. His name is Pup. Let's get writing. Capital H first. His name, an N, A, M, aim. Still doesn't look right. Oh, one of you said it. I'm missing that E again to make the A say its name. Thank you. His name is Pup. And I need that capital P because it's his name. Up. His name is Pup. Then I need something right here. Oh, a period. You've got it to end my sentence. All right, I think we can keep going. Maybe I should talk about how he feels. Maybe I could say something like, he feels very, How do you think Pup feels? Oh, I heard someone say squishy. Oh, someone said smooth. Okay. Someone said fluffy. Oh, I heard furry. I also heard soft. And you're right. He does feel soft. I think I'm going to go with that one. So we're going to write the sentence. He feels very soft. Let's say that again. He feels very soft. Let's write it. Start with a capital H. He feels. Oh, an F. Thank you. Feels very. And then I need that word soft. 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 Oh, I hear that sound, so I need an S. Probably an O. And that ft we hear at the end is an F and a T, an ending one. And then I end my sentence with a period. He feels very soft. And then we can do one more. How about what I like to do with him? I like to, think about your stuffed animals. What do you like to do with them? Give me some. I like to play with him. I like to take him outside. Okay. I like to cuddle him. Okay. I like to sleep with him. That's a good one. Right. Who has another one? I like to pet him. Oh, that is a good one. We do like to pet him because he does feel soft. I think that one will work. Let's go with that. Let's practice saying it. I like to pet him. Say it with me one more time. I like to pet him. You got it. That's right. So we start with a capital I, and then I need like. Oh, I think I'm missing something again. Help me out. An E, thank you. To pet him. And then I need a period at the end. Good work. Let's reread what we wrote, the whole thing. Come on, read with me. This is my black and white dog. His name is Pup. He feels very soft. I like to pet him. Excellent job, writers. Thank you so much for helping me write about one of my stuffed animals today. What I want you today, what you can do today is you can pick one of your favorite toys and try writing about them too. Think about how your animal feels. Maybe it has a name. Think about what you like to do with it. Think about the different colors that it is. And why don't you try some writing today too? Hope you have a great day. Thanks for writing with me today.
Hi Arlington families, my name is Kylie Whitley and I teach first grade at Nottingham Elementary. Hi Knights! I'm here today to talk to you about the importance of learning and practicing sight words. Sight words make up a large majority of what your child is reading. These are words that cannot be sounded out or spelled because they contain irregular sounding patterns. In the classroom, we focus on two main areas of learning these sight words. The first way is through isolation. You'll often find that your kids are playing games when learning these sight words. The second way is through seeing these words in text. So it might be magazines, newspapers, books that they're reading. Today I'm going to show you how you can have fun and practice sight words at home in isolation with your children. Enjoy!
One game you can play is Flashlight Hunt. Write a bunch of sight words on cards, find a dark room, place them around the room, and give your child a flashlight. Let them search all around the room and read each word as they find it with their flashlight.
Another activity you can play is hopscotch sight words. Fill in sight words and play hopscotch. Every time your foot lands on a word, say the word. You can even throw an object to a word and then hopscotch to it and say it.
As we end this episode of At Home with APS, we hope that you enjoyed seeing APS teachers and staff bringing literacy instruction into your own home. Maybe you even got to see one of your very own teachers that you worked with during the school year. I'm sure that was really exciting for you. So we invite you, parents and families, to continue to take videos and pictures of how you are engaging in literacy activities while at home. Be sure to tag us on whatever social media outlet you prefer using the hashtag @HomeWithAPS, and we look forward to seeing all the exciting and creative ways APS students and families are engaging with literacy while at home. And who knows, maybe you can make a special guest appearance on At Home with APS. Speaking of which, check out this dedicated APS student as she practices hearing all of the sounds in the word box.
Box.